Hi, welcome to Divine Astrology and I'm Joe. And in this video, I'm going to talk about April 2017 monthly astrological forecast referring to Vedic astrology. And in this month, we have total of 4 planets that is going to be in retrograde motion. We already have Venus and Jupiter in retrograde motion. And on 6th, Saturn is going to be retrograde in Sagittarius. And on 11th, Mercury is going to be retrograde. And Saturn being retrograde can be helpful, but Mercury being retrograde at this time could be a little problematic. So let's talk about Saturn first. On 6th of April 2017, Saturn is going to go retrograde in Sagittarius and will be in retrograde motion for all this month in Sagittarius. So which in general represents the 9th zodiac sign or the 9th house, and which also represents teachers, lawyers, advisors, counselors, priests, holy places, leaders, higher education, foreign travel, foreigners, immigration, rules, justice, law, lawyers, freedom, all kind of stuff that is related to the 9th house. So all this matters, or at least some of these matters, are going to come into surface. So whenever a planet is moving direct, it is revolving around the sun, following sun's orders and rules. But when planet is moving retrograde, it is moving opposite from the sun and it is moving closer to the earth, which means it is going to help us better when it is in retrograde motion than when it is in direct motion. So any planet going retrograde can be really helpful. And yes, this Saturn going retrograde can also be helpful. Like past 2 months has been very negative. The Saturn going retrograde can turn it into a very positive, but it can still hurt a little bit because this is happening in the Mula Nakshatra. So overall, this is like a typical year because we have Saturn bouncing between the last degrees of Scorpio and the early degrees of Sagittarius, and I'm going to talk about that. So the last degrees of Scorpio is the tail of the Scorpio, where you will see poison and which can hurt. In the early degrees of the Sagittarius, it's the bow, it's the arrow with the sharp point that can hurt too. So, and Saturn is bouncing between these two, the last degrees and the first degrees of Sagittarius and Scorpio. So, like I said, this can hurt a little bit. Even though Saturn is going retrograde now, can turn things into little positive and help people get in progress. It can still hurt a little bit because everything happens for a reason, right? So when Saturn is going retrograde, even the positive things can be a little hurt because, like, what I wanted to tell is sometimes truth hurts more than the lie. You know what I'm saying? So this can be like a positive events but with little actions in it, like. And we also have Mercury going retrograde on 10th of the month, and this is happening in Aries, which is a fire sign which is ruled by Mars. So Mercury going retrograde is fine because when Mercury is going retrograde, it kind of gives you researching capability, extra thinking, extra working on stuff, rethinking and redoing, having more capability of adjusting the situations and stuff. But this is happening in Aries, like I said, which is ruled by Mars. And whenever a planet is moving in a particular house, it kind of tends to get the qualities of the house. And the Aries qualities are aggressive and rash. So you will see your conversations being very aggressive, very rash. And also Mercury deals with business, communication, media, telecommunication, marketing, and stuff, travel. So overall, this is not really a good time to sign any long-term or short-term projects, or this is not really a good time to expand or invest in businesses because your decisions can be very aggressive or very rash. Even you will see media being very aggressive and rash at this time. Even the travel can also hurt a little bit. But overall, this is time to be patient for the first 2 weeks. sorry, for the next 2 weeks, from April 10th until it moves into Taurus. So it will be in Aries for all this month. So you just have to be so careful with decisions, with the way of communication and stuff, like everybody in general, because this is a generalized month prediction. Excuse me. On 13th, Mars will be entering into Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Taurus represents the second zodiac sign, which refers to second house of family, wealth, spendings, gains, food habits and stuff. So the second part of the month, you will see a lot of activity with money. You will see spendings and gains, because on 14th, Sun will be entering into Aries with its highest dignity. From that time, you will see government doing some progressive stuff. They'll start some huge projects, or they'll start passing some huge bills, which eventually government will start spending money on working them out. So you will see a lot of transactions during the second part of the month, from 13th or 14th of the April. It will be big spendings by the government, or like I said, it could be big projects which end up lot of spendings, which can also create a lot of jobs. That's what Sun, every April usually Sun will be in Aries, and that will be the month for most of the people for getting a job. So on April 14th, Sun will be entering into Aries. Until then, it will be in the Pisces, which is the 12th zodiac sign. And the last week of the March and the first 2 weeks of the April, you will see that government will get so much opposition from the general public. Government may pass some rules or regulations or some bills which will get a lot of opposition from the general public, because you see all these 4 planets will be in retrograde until Sun moves into Aries. So with Jupiter, which deals with education, banking, accounting, and teachers and lawyers and stuff. And you will see Mercury, which deals with the Mercury communication, media, business, travel. And you will see Venus, excuse me, which deals with money, females, luxurious things, transactions and stuff. And you will also have Saturn, which deals with large number of people, which is like vast people. It could be generally middle class or the lower class people. So you see all these 4 planets are opposing Sun. They're moving away from the Sun, and they're giving support to us, to Earth. It is giving support to Earth rather than it is giving support to the Sun, which is government, and the Earth is the general public. So you see all these planets means all these people that belongs to all these sectors will be focusing on general public and will start opposing government. With Jupiter, it could be lawyers, or it could be justice department, or it could be a banking or transaction departments. With Mercury, it could be media, business, travel departments. And with Venus, it could be females or feminism. And with Saturn, it can just be large number of people, middle class and lower class, like I said. So overall, the first week of first 2 weeks of the April will be very confusing month. You will see a lot of opposition from general people. You will see a lot of confusion in most of the people. But once Sun enters into Aries on 14th, everything will change. Now Sun will be in its highest dignity, and you will also see little climatic changes during the time around 12, 13, 14, because Sun is moving from a water sign to a fire sign. So like I said in my previous videos, any planet entering or leaving a water sign will impact a little bit the climatic change. So when Sun enters into Aries on 14th, everything will change. Government will pull up a lot of strength, and it will start being so progressive. You will see a lot of activities by government. You will see government or the leader being self-centered, having huge fame. They'll also start passing rules and regulations, and they'll also start huge projects. They'll also give a lot of sources for general people, but that will happen in the second part of the month. We also have Venus going direct on 15th of April, which is another good thing for the second part of the month, because Venus right now is retrograde and exalted in Pisces, which is kind of acting little over, which is acting like a debilitated or being like a overacting planet. So once it goes direct, that means it will be just an exalted position, which means in its highest dignity. So you will start pulling off, stock market will get better, you will see currency exchanges will get better, you know, the money, romance, relationships, pleasure, creativity, cultural stuff, religious stuff, all these things getting better in the second part of the month. So overall, the first, like I said, the first part of the month will be very confusing and opposing, but the second part of the month will be very progressive and happening. The second part of the month will be mostly kickstart for most of the zodiac signs after Sun enters into Aries. For a lot of people, this is regarding job. If I get chance, I will do a video for each and every zodiac sign, and if I don't, please, I'm sorry. If I definitely find time, if I do definitely, if I find time, I'll definitely do it, but if not, I hope you all understand that. And thank you so much for watching. And if you wanted to know more videos on astrology, please like and subscribe. And if you wanted to have a personal consultation or a personal reading, I'm going to attach the consultation link below. You can check that out. And I also wanted to refer this person. She's really amazing in doing tarot readings. I'm going to attach her link in the description box below if you want to check that out. Her tarot readings are so accurate. Check that out. And thank you so much. And I think that you will have a good month. Thank you.